Have you ever seen those special TV shows or movies? You know the ones that are so wonderfully, unintentionally bad, but they bring you so much joy and captivate you, but for all the wrong reasons.
Well, we here at B-Watch Rewatch absolutely live for these underdog gems.
So buckle up, Busters, and please allow us,
Colin
and Cadence, a sibling duo who share a passion for such cinematic excellence, to take you on a wild ride through all the TV shows and movie plots you never knew you needed to hear.
Hello, everybody. It's Colin.
Hi, it's Cadence.
And we're back at you with a new riveting movie.
This one is a real doozy.
I don't know if we told you guys this before we started recording this season, but we've never, well, I guess we've never seen any of the movies we do, really.
Right. Sometimes we have,
Sometimes
but it's
we
very
have,
rare.
yeah. We just went whale.
Whale. Let me tell you.
We just went into this blind and we picked kind of some movies in chronological order that we thought would be good. So these were kind of pre-picked. And then sometimes you get winners like Batman and Robin, Barbed Wire, and sometimes you get not such winners.
This was not.
This movie actually made Cadence and I have a real conversation about how do we do an episode about movies that are just so bad they're bad. But I do feel like we've asked that question quite a bit of times.
Well, we hated Geely.
Oh, Geely. Geely was awful, though. We genuinely hated that movie. But what are we doing today?
We are doing a very unique story from the DC comic world from 2010. I should say that this is also from the Dark Horse comics, that it's the same universe that Barbed Wire comes from. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of, and Hellboy, so it's kind of this like anti-hero kind of thing.
Which has really been going good for them.
But the movie is 2010's Jonah Hex.
And you know what? I've hexen never heard it. No, that doesn't work.
I was going to say, you can go to Hex.
You know what? Yeah, I was going to say, what the hex is this movie? I was going to say, I've never heard of Jonah Hex. Now, there's a reason I know why I've never heard of it.
And when we were compiling our list, so part of it was everything's in chronological order, which we kind of talked about already. But it was also, I mean, lots of superhero movies come out or comic book movies come out in a given year. So the other aspect was, what's the Rotten Tomatoes score? How well did it perform?
Always.
This was in the order we were going, but it was also, it had a terrible score. Like the aggregate score for this was low. And so we were like, oh, this is going to be good. And then we watched the preview, as we always do, just to sort of see if it's something we want to invest in. And we were like, yeah, let's go for it. And then today we were like, what were we thinking?
We should have known. It was the movie where the preview told you the whole movie. You don't have to watch the movie, just watch the trailer. You got it.
The trailer was probably better than the movie, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
It was probably like more stuff happened in a shorter amount of time that just like took you through the story versus this muddled mess that was Jonah Hex.
It's basically, we'll give you the summary. Jonah Hex is our hero, anti-hero, whatever.
Right.
And he's basically exactly like Barbed Wire. He's like, I don't give a shit about anything. I am a mercenary and a bounty hunter. But he also has a superpower-ish that we don't know how he got, and we don't know how he uses it or in what capacity. But he can kind of talk to dead people or wake the dead up for a minute or two or go to the dead world and see people. It doesn't really matter, but it's set in the Wild West.
It's not necessarily the Wild West, only because one of the things we do know about Jonah Hex, he was a former Confederate soldier. So that's something else that's sort of different about this movie, is that the timeline is not modern or post-apocalyptic or whatever. This is happening 10 years post-Civil War. So he was a Confederate soldier, and then he defected from the army. So he went on the run, essentially. So he went AWOL, and then he became a bounty hunter, like in his next life. So this is happening like 1876-ish, like roughly 10 years after the Civil War. And it's happening in the frontier, but also not totally in the West, like Arizona, New Mexico, Texas.
Actually,
Not
that's
that
a good
far
point.
west.
That's a good point. It's not like
Yeah.
so Western, but it's got that way. It's trains and horses.
But yes,
and
that's the thing, is
corrals
that
and
it's a
all
very Western vibe. The very basic version of this story is that Jonah Hex was in the army fighting for the Confederates. The leader of his platoon or group or troop, whatever it's called, his name is Quentin Turnbull, who is played by John Malkovich.
Oh, God. Don't get me started on John Malkovich.
John Malkovich's son, Jeb Turnbull, is also part of this group, troop, platoon, whatever it's called. And at some point during the war, Quentin Turnbull gets basically maniacal. He becomes a villain, and he starts breaking the rules of war.
Do you know why? Nope.
Why?
No, I was
I was
asking.
like, why do you have some information I do not have?
I was genuinely asking, do you know why he goes maniacal and greedy? It's not for power. It's not for money. He's just a general in an army that I guess has a screw loose. I don't know. We don't really know his motivating factors.
You're right. I was like, if you heard something in this movie I didn't hear, then by all means enlighten me, because who knew?
No, it did sound like, do you know why? But I was actually asking you, like, why? Nobody knows. I have a challenge for you.
Okay.
Summarize this movie, beginning, middle, end, in 3 sentences.
Jonah Hex defects from the army. His enemy is hunting him down. He has to save the country from his enemy's retribution.
That's pretty good. I mean, in a nutshell, that's pretty much it. And you forgot the last one, semicolon, and does.
And does. Yes. He's a hero.
He's defecting from the Confederacy because one of the main guy, Turnbull, he wants him to basically blow up this hospital, and you don't really know why, but it's going through his son, Jeb. And that's when Jonah Hex is like, Jeb, this is one hospital I'm not going to blow up. And he decides the only way to stop the hospital from blowing up is to kill Jeb, which is Turnbull's son. And that is the start of the movie. But actually, let's just jump into it. Let's go back into the wild.
Because I was like,
I keep saying Wild Wild West, but it's North Carolina. Let's jump back into North Carolina.
I've said this before and I'll say it again because it's very Alone in the Dark. If you have to open your movie with this much exposition, it's probably not going to be
40
good.
years of Alone in the Dark. I forgot. As soon as you said Alone in the Dark, I got traumatized when it was like 10 hours of like, the zombies are killing the people and Tara Reid is the head of history directives at the museum. And I'm just like...
It was so good. And then every time you thought it was going to end, it just kept going.
Nope, there's a little bit more. Just in
It
case.
was someone's job to like write this entire explanatory essay about the plot of Alone in the Dark.
But yes, there's a lot of that.
Similar vibe. It's a similar vibe. You have this voiceover that's giving way too much information, and you're like, okay, great. So they did a terrible job of explaining the plot in the movie. Got it.
Moore and me took to each other real well. Felt like it had meaning. The feeling of doing what you thought was right. It wasn't. Folks can believe what they like, but eventually a man's got to decide if he's going to do what's right.
Knowing what you already know about Jonah defecting from the army, from the Confederacy, we catch up with him a few years after the war, and Quentin Turnbull has found him in his home, and he's ready to get revenge because, don't forget, Jonah Hex has killed his son, Jeb Turnbull. So he ties up Jonah Hex to a tree outside of his cabin and then says, this is revenge for you killing my son. Now you got to know what it feels like. So he lights his house on fire, Jonah Hex's house on fire, with his wife and his child inside of it. And he has to be there witnessing them dying. Then, to put a little icing on the cake, Quentin Turnbull just happens to have a branding iron. I guess he carries it with him with his own initials on it. That's just like the thing he has in his bag.
It's like a cursive Turnby, like Turnby with like the E with a little thing over it. I got this at Bed Bath & Beyond.
It's my favorite branding iron.
Brand him. Do it. Brand
Go
him.
ahead,
I dare you.
Duh. And so he's like, just to, really insult you, you're going to have my initials on your face. So he brands him. But guys, the initials don't They don't come out. It just makes a big scar. There's not like a QT on his face. So really he could have used anything.
Well,
but
in his defense, there's a little baby QT, but Jonah Hex actually cuts it out because he hates it. He does cut up his
I
own
must have
face.
missed that.
Yeah, so, but I will say, at this point we are feeling, this is the only time in the entire movie I felt for Jonah Hex, because I was like, okay, he watched his whole family get burned. But at this point, I'm like, you know what? He killed this guy's son, so I'd do the same. Eye for an eye. That's how I live.
I mean,
that's how I roll.
It's the semi-wild west.
Right. You still my
semi-Midwest wild West.
Then it's that classic thing where I'm like, Turnbull, just kill him. You've already killed his family. He killed your son. Like, just include him, and then the movie would be over.
Because he says, I'm going to let you go free. I'm just going to leave you with this brand on your face. But then he doesn't actually let him go free. He leaves him tied up to the thing.
That's very true.
And then he almost dies being tied up to that thing until the Crow Native Americans find him.
I'm on that cross for days. By the time the Crow Indians found me and cut me down, I was nearly dead. Those medicine men did what they could to bring me back, but somehow they just couldn't get me all the way out. Them crows seemed to stay with me. Didn't make me immortal, just left me with the curse of knowing the other side. See, talking to dead folks ain't natural. Sometimes they're the only ones who will point the way. I searched this land high and low, hunting old Turnbull down. But then that old bastard played one final trick on me and died in a hotel fire. The man that took my family was dead. I had nowhere to go, and a heart full of vengeance. All I did would come natural and turned a bounty on me. Punishing the guilty wherever there was profit. This here's my story.
This is where you kind of get a very nonsensical introduction to his weird powers.
It doesn't make sense at all. They literally say the crows found him and they taught him the witch magic. Or saved him with their witch magic or something.
Yes. So he was so close to death that they dragged him into their tent and they used their magic and they used their spells and potions and they brought him back. But because he was so close to death, that is where he gets his, quote, power from, which is being able to talk to dead people. Do we understand the parameters of this power? No. Do we understand the rules? No. There will be no explanation, so don't ask for one and don't expect one.
I think it's like a movie trope. Like, if you don't have an explanation for any of the weirdness going on, just be like, Native Americans. Oh, you've got ghosts haunting your house? Native American Indian ground. Oh,
so
something. Oh, your ranch is catching Native American Indian burial ground. Just throw that in there.
And it felt really offensive, too. I was like, oh, okay, so they just did witchcraft.
Yeah,
cool.
Oh, yeah, that explains everything. As a viewer, you're like, oh, Native Americans, that makes sense. That's why he can kind of talk to dead people.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, totally. They were really known for doing that.
All part of this mythology.
They were really known for doing that. Everyone knows that.
And at that point, because he's a lone ranger and he doesn't have a family and he's still wanted because he went AWOL from the army, but he's also a bounty hunter, we also never get a clear understanding about why he is an extra good shooter or why he can dodge bullets coming towards him.
He was
like why he's extra fast.
Confederacy. They train their men like warriors. Yeah, you're right. He has none. It's kind of like a Batman. Like, at least Bruce Wayne had a lot of money to buy all these gadgets. So you're kind of like, okay, that makes sense. But yeah, you're right. He's just a regular dude. I mean, I guess he's kind of a high up officer maybe, but even then, like, they don't teach your high officers to be like these incredible, like, standing up on horseback. And
I mean, he literally dodges a bullet. Like, he can sense the bullet coming and he doesn't, like, he moves out of the way. So there is like this sixth sense thing happening. This Elektra, like
Native Americans.
You're right. Did not for a quick second remember that the Native Americans have the power to know when bullets are coming at them and actually dodge them from coming. So
exactly.
My bad.
Don't ask questions.
My bad. that's where we're at. He's now on the road as a bounty hunter, working, catching the guys that other people need to catch. Jonah Hex, and by the way, he must always be called Jonah Hex. You cannot just call him Jonah. It's very formal. Out in his journey, out in his bounty hunting, he comes across some gossip.
Did you hear that Turnbull's dead?
Did I hear Turnbull's dead? I didn't know that. Is Jonah Hex gonna know Turnbull's dead?
We raised our podcast budget. We've hired some. That was actually a family, the mother, the father, and the child. If you guys didn't know that, good voice actors. Ooh.
It was worth every penny.
Worth every penny.
Totally an investment. The quality has increased by quite a bit. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your hard work. You can leave. We're done.
You're welcome. See you later. Bye.
Oh, so stupid.
Oh my God. So stupid.
So after this little gossip goes around town, we're going to start with the main conflict of the movie, which opens on a train making its way through the countryside.
The cowboy movie with the train. How? That is wild. On this train, there's like the caboose or whatever, and you see this giant sign, deadly weapon that'll destroy the world. No, I'm just kidding. You've got these giant stamps, though, that say something like secret weapon, which is, of course, the most obvious thing you could do. Just to set the scene, it's a very peaceful train ride going through the country, like people talking. And then there's this kid who's like,
Mom, what do you suppose those men are doing?
and they look out the window and there's like 10 guys on horses with burlap sack masks on riding. And the mom's like, I don't know.
She's like, looks like they're out for a ride. They just don't want to get too much sun exposure. They're real worried about melanoma.
Right. They're really into sunscreen these days. All the guys that are on, because there's more people on the train that are also the...
right. It's like the civilians.
Yeah.
Because it's a freight, like not a freight train, but it's carrying everyone's stuff and it has people on it. It's not just a freight train.
Yeah, that's what trains were for back in the day. They took
because
people.
there were also just trains that all they did was transport goods like animals and stuff. You know what I mean? So that people didn't ride on them. So this was one
I think
that
they always transferred people.
well, we can agree to disagree because I'm pretty sure
Back in the
They were
day,
just
it
freight
cost a
trains.
lot of money to do those trains. They had to ship as much shit as they could. So people, animals, bags,
whatever, just hop on the train.
secret
It's
weapons.
there.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah. So anyway, point being, there are a lot of other civilians riding this train, and they soon realize that it's not just sun protection, that they are in danger.
They're very much in danger of being taken hostage.
Right. So the bad guys take over the train. You don't quite know who they are, but I will say that this is important because you meet one of the weirdest, most unique, most bizarre characters you will ever see in a movie, played by Michael Fassbender.
He's the Irish dude, and I don't think he knew what movie he was in. I really don't. I think he was the one that made this movie, but he's just this wild, like, he's got these, like, Polynesian island tattoos.
Yeah.
And he's, like, wildly Irish, but kind of crazy. He's an enigma, that one.
And you're like, how did he end up with this gang? Like, nothing about this is explained. You never get any clarity, so don't expect it. But he is a wild card. Let's just say that.
Wild
So
card.
for right now, all you need to know is that he is part of this gang that's taking over this train. And you guys, they don't care if people die, and they're probably going to kill the people. They don't give a shit. But that's not what they're there for. They're not there just to kill people. They are there to steal those boxes marked with secret weaponry. And so
Secret weaponry, do not touch.
it is secret unless you know the code word.
It's so ridiculous. Why would you post that all over? I guess it really does say, like, stamps that are like, nothing's in here. Don't
This
look
is not
in
anything
here.
you should be interested in. Don't
worry
look
about
here.
this. But yeah, they blow up that train.
There is another guy who has not yet given up his burlap mask. He's the leader of the gang. It's a secret. You don't know who he is. He's being very mysterious. But all the orders are coming from him. And he's like, you know what? Kill everyone. I don't care. But mostly what we're doing is getting this shit off the train. So you know what? There's a terrorist organization and they are roaming the hills.
And their burlap sack
end.
masks. Ready to blow up trains. Needless to say, these guys pull off what they were meant to do.
They get what they want.
Trains blowed up. Everyone's dead. And like Caden said, there was one little sneaker McSneakerson who was not showing his face. But at the very end, he lifts off his burlap sap mask. And who do y'all think it is? I'll give you a hint. There was a lot of gossip going around about it earlier. Lots of gossip.
People love talking about
They
him.
love it. He was a hot topic.
It's Turnbull, you guys. Quentin Turnbull's alive.
You're sure? Absolutely sure it was Turnbull.
And guess what? He's the one that's head of the gang. So he did not, in fact, die in a hotel fire.
Bastard must have faked his own death.
That was a very elaborate ruse he created. I just want to know how he sent that to the newspaper. Like, Quentin Turnbull absolutely died in a hotel fire the other day. It was really terrible. They didn't find his body, but he burned up to nothing. It was total ashes, so don't look.
And all of his men, all of them died too. It was a big hotel party. They all died. Not one of them is left.
He died. Sorry.
And you remember how he tried to blow up that hospital? Did you guys hear that rumor? Nope, he didn't.
He didn't.
He didn't, and he's not trying to steal secret weapons. He's cool.
If you ever hear anything about Turnbull, just make sure the first thing you say is like, nope, I heard he died. I heard he died in a hotel fire.
He's dead. He's
and
gone.
Just end the conversation.
So we are at another scene, and this is where we get introduced to Megan Fox's character, which I actually don't know her name. What was her name in the movie?
It's Lila. I also just want to say that this is one of those movies where you get and actually this is also similar to Elektra. You have no sense of space and time. You don't know how much time has elapsed. You don't know where these places are in relation to each other. There's no explanation of where he's at and how long it took to get there.
That's very true, because I will
things.
say, like I said, it was a Western earlier. It was started in North Carolina. That's where a couple of the conversations were taking place. But then later, including in this scene where we meet Lila, it's literally like Mexico. Like it's very desert.
Looks much more desert, yeah.
And it's like cacti. So again, yeah, you don't really know how far the rumor mill spreads, how far Turnbull's like influence gets. Nothing like that.
And because as the plot of the movie goes along, you'll realize that this has a lot to do with the capital of the United States. So it's like they've also got to be in somewhat writing proximity to it, but I don't know. So anyway.
So we meet one of the best characters in the movie, and that's Megan Fox. We're just going to call her Lila. Immediately, you know Lila's a badass because you get that she is a sex worker and she's got a guy that's obsessed with her. Obviously, she's Megan Fox. Of course, he's going to be obsessed with her. And he's like,
I'll leave her. Store. Hell, kids.
Our transaction is done here. You want to see me tomorrow, you pay fair like everyone else.
Megan, marry me. And she's like,
hell no, you ain't no Jonah Hex. Get out my room.
come on, marry me. Come on, I really mean it. I really love you. And she's like,
Bitch, I got a gun, and I'm gonna shoot your face off if you don't get the fuck out of this room.
and that's what she does. She pulls out a gun. And she's like, get the hell out of here. And needless to say, the guy does.
I feel like there's this trope that happens, especially in Westerns, where there are sex workers and brothels, that there's always like one sex worker that's like so magical that all the men are like obsessed with her and they want to marry her and they want to make an honest woman out of her. And they
She's
want to like...
TTT, dude. She's tight Tostina.
Yeah, she totally is.
There's always a tight Tostina there, you know?
They're like, I can't ever go back to any other woman's tuss. It's only yours.
At the end of her sex work day, she goes to the bar with her girlfriend. She's just like, oh, I get so much clientele because my tuss is just so tight.
They all want to marry me. It's so tight.
I had to pull out a gun again today. I'm not even appreciated at work anymore.
It's so true. And so he's like, please marry me. And she's like, I don't play house.
I don't play house.
And right after she gets this guy to leave by pulling a gun on him, who do you think saunters right on into that bar/brothel?
Jonah Hex.
Jonah Hex. And everybody knows it because they all say, Jonah Hex, Jonah Hex, Jonah Hex. Like,
Jonah
even
Hex,
she,
Jonah Hex?
Lila, calls him Jonah Hex. And you kind of get this idea that Jonah Hex and Lila have some relationship. You don't know how long they've known each other. Doesn't make any sense. But she's like, of course, obsessed with him for no reason.
So obsessed with him. He's like in her bed with his top off and she's like trying to seduce him, even though she's the sex worker. So it's like, didn't he pay to be here? Like, what do you have to convince him?
Maybe they're dating and he doesn't have to pay, and that's the whole thing.
Oh,
but
that's true.
she still is, and she's doing that thing where like, Jonah Hex, your life is crazy. Like, you guys slow down.
It's been a while, Hex. times you've been shot. It's just one more, it's gonna do it.
It seems like I've been luckier than most in that respect.
Which one was the first one?
I don't recall first or last.
And I'm like, dude,
How many times have you got shot, Jonah Hex? And he's like, I don't even remember. And so she like, I'm going to start counting all your gunshots, Jonah Hex. And then she starts kissing them. It is bizarre.
ugh, do not kiss my gunshot wounds and think it's sexy. Just don't.
Don't do it.
Don't. I don't want to ever have that. If I ever get shot, I do not want someone sticking their finger and caressing my gunshot holes, counting them, trying to be romantic. How many gunshot holes do you have? That's like the last thing anybody wants to talk about in bed in the Wild West. Like, yeah, Lila, I got shot 3 times yesterday, dude. Don't bring it up. They're infected. It's awful. And I'm like, one of them was by you, Lila. You shot me. You have a gun.
Yeah, so you can go ahead and count those. So the dynamic is weird because it's implying that they've known each other for a really long time and that they have this like sense of trust and vulnerability, but you never see it and you never understand it. There's no investment in their relationship whatsoever.
And up until this point, I would like to just say, if you haven't gathered already, Jonah Hex's character is like that same Elektra style, like overly stoic, only a couple words. I mean, obviously he's a cowboy, so he can only like murmur a couple words at a time.
And his face is fucked up, so it makes his murmur even worse.
He's not even saying like witty one-liners. He's not saying anything smart. He's not saying anything like heroic. He's just like a dude that got branded in the face and now he's going around killing people. So you're not really like on his side. You're just kind of like, okay, you know, you're there. I mean, I guess he did have his limits with not blowing up the hospital at the beginning.
Well, the bar is fucking low that like you're the hero just because you didn't blow up a hospital.
You're right. There's probably a lot of other times that you could have showed your heroism.
Something that you should know about Jonah Hex is that I gathered this from the interwebs because, again, I was looking for clarity on this movie and didn't quite get any. But something that's just a side note is that he was fighting for the Confederacy for the dumbest reason of all time. He was morally opposed to slavery, didn't believe in it, but was fighting for the Confederacy because he didn't want the U.S. government telling him what to do. In his cool boy nature, joined the Confederacy to be, I don't know, a pick-me. Like, I'm not like other soldiers. So stupid.
I'm glad you like went down a rabbit hole of Jonah Hex's like moral compasses.
Well, because I was genuinely like, there are so many things that happen in this movie that have no context. And I kept being like, did I miss something? Did I fall asleep for 2 seconds and not realize it? But no, it's just completely, and they changed the character from the comic quite a bit, according to the interwebs. So I think it was just a very half-cooked plot in general. So that was just my own, because I was like, why is he a hero just for not blowing up a hospital? I don't understand what he really did.
You know what? We're getting too into it because now I have too many questions. You know what? But if that's his backstory, it's like the most uninteresting, dumb backstory.
So Megan Fox and Jonah Hex have spent what I guess she interprets as a passionate night together.
Counting each other's bullet holes.
How many holes you got, Jonah Hex?
It's just the most awkward dialogue. It just seems like a really bad night. Even if it's great sex.
He would just be like laying there. I can't imagine that he's like, it like unleashes some passion on him.
Hey, the Native Americans might have given him that power too.
Maybe that was part of it. They gave him a spell and they're just like, listen, in movies, we can do anything and we can even make boring white guys great at sex. So you're welcome. Which I will never understand how she's like, trying to seduce him, but he's the one who paid for her services, but whatever. I'm thinking too much about it.
And it still doesn't tell you quite like how long they've known each other. It doesn't really say like anything about their relationship. He just shows up to her brothel. Well, I don't know if it's a brothel, a saloon brothel. I don't know.
And it implies that like they've known each other for a long time, but
yeah, clearly he lets her count his bullet holes. You don't just let anybody count your bullet holes. It's only for this most special of special.
So in the morning after their whatever kind of night together, she's basically like,
it's paradise, you know? Waiting around here on you. We can go somewhere.
I'm obsessed with you. Can we please run away? Which, by the way, is a callback because the very first client we meet her with, he wants to run away with her. He's like, I'll leave my wife. We can get married and have a family. And she's like,
I don't play house.
Yeah, she pulls out a gun on him. We talked about she tries to shoot him.
Yes, she's so insulted that she almost kills him. And then when Jonah Hex rolls around, she's like, no gun to be found. I want to run away with you, Jonah Hex. But then at that moment,
There's a little knock at the door.
well, I wouldn't say knock.
More like a fierce entrance.
The
With guns.
army just barrels on through.
Jonah Hex, by presidential act, you are hereby inducted into military service. A reward will be offered for the administration of your duties. Your country needs you.
Just as Lila is begging Jonah Hex to run away with her, and he's very clearly telling her no. The army comes in, and they're like, listen, we're basically recruiting you / kidnapping you. Number one, you left the army without telling anyone. You went AWOL, so you're in trouble for that. However, you don't have to be in trouble for that if you help us find Quentin Turnbull, because guess what?
Quentin Turnbull is alive.
He didn't die in that hotel fire. He's alive.
He's alive, breathing, and he stole a freaking secret weapon on the back of a train.
At first, when they're like, we found you, and he's just like,
Get lost or get dead.
I'm not going to take this shit. And then as soon as they say Turnbull's alive, then he immediately turns around and leaves, and he's like, let's do this. Let's go. Bye.
Well, my question is, it kind of goes back to Jonah Hex's powers, right? Couldn't he just have confirmed that Turnbull was dead in the afterlife with his powers? Couldn't he just gone in there and been like, hey, I'm looking for Turnbull. Is he in fact dead? I heard rumors that he was dead.
I think this all boils down to the question we had earlier about whether or not he has to make physical contact with a person who has passed away. Because if he's out shooting people like a madman, which he is, I mean, the opening whole scene of the movie is him just like blowing a bunch of people away with a machine gun on his
40
horse.
minutes of blowing up people.
Then you'd have to like walk up to those people that you just killed, put your hand on them, wake them up. They would have to go find the information
Actually, that's
in
true.
the afterlife.
He has to touch them because he doesn't actually go into like an underworld. He like touches them and they come back to life.
However, we'll get into it later, but I also don't think that the people who have died also have much information, but we can talk about that when the time comes.
I'm just thinking about how bad this gift is to like go touch someone who just died to figure out information about what happened to them right before they died. Like,
right. I mean, it's very Elektra needing to know the future 2 seconds before it happens.
Jonah Hex and Elektra should make a movie together where one just like barely knows what's going to happen and the one knows
barely knows what's going to happen right after you die.
Exactly.
You know, like a 4-second range before and after death.
That's just a ridiculous power. Okay. So, yes, like Kaden said, they basically commandeer him. They're like, dude, do it. But he's actually at this point fully on board. He wants to kill Turnbull, then bring him back to life and ask him, how'd you like that?
I mean, the president has put out this order personally. He wants to find Jonah Hex. Jonah Hex is the secret weapon. But he's not the one actually boots on the ground because he's the president. He's got other things to do, like plan a centennial celebration for America. Everyone wants to plan a party. They don't want to be on the battlefield.
He's got other things to worry about. Yeah. Wait, why does he think that Jonah Hex is like the answer to his prayers? It doesn't ever explain that. Like, no one says.
Right. He's just like,
I need you to locate this man.
Jonah Hex. Hex is a lawless bounty hunter.
Man was a hero once.
Sir, we've all heard the stories.
It was Hex who turned in Turnbull and his men. And he paid a terrible price for it.
Sir,
Mark my words, gentlemen. The very fate of our nation may rest on the shoulders of Jonah Hex.
oh, Jonah Hex is the only way we can get Turnbull. Jonah Hex is our secret weapon. Jonah Hex is going to save the country.
Yeah,
and
but
it's like,
how?
What? He's on the run. He was just a normal soldier.
Yeah. How about
And
just
then he
get a
left the
spy?
army.
Just get a spy, go find Turnbull, kill him. Easy as pie.
So complex. And also, he's not like a real, what's the word, sneaky kind of a guy. He's very much like go in and just blow it up kind of a guy.
Yeah, like,
So,
did you see that guy on a
not.
horse with a machine gun that has his face burned off? Yeah, and he goes and
Very
sleeps with that
subtle.
super hot prostitute. Have you seen him?
yeah, you know who we're talking about. Yeah, he sounds like the hero of our country. That sounds exactly like the guy we need to pull off an especially dangerous
Oh,
secretive
Jesus.
mission. Because the president is busy planning the party, the person who is actually in charge of this military company that's finding Turnbull is Will Arnett, which is like
I know.
totally
The weirdest casting.
clear
I
casting.
I mean, I love Will Arnett, but I was definitely surprised to see him in this movie. Probably thought it was a comedy.
Maybe he did.
He was probably like, yeah, I'll do this comedy. Well, between him and Michael Fassbender, like they could have done this movie on their own.
Actually, that's a movie I would watch. Will Arnett playing this army general and Michael Fassbender playing that absolutely
Bonkers
Irish. Irish guy.
Turnbull. He's alive. I thought I'd never hear that name again.
All right, so now that Jonah Hex is on board and we've got Will Arnett helping him out, they go on their first mission, I guess.
Yeah, they're like at one of their first campsites.
One of their
or
first,
something.
yeah. There's always a campsite. There's like 5 people in the camp. 5 people.
Colin.
What?
The movie was historically accurate. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know.
Sorry,
why
you're right.
you're
Why am I even
telling
questioning?
this.
I really researched it. It was pretty much the Patriot.
The
you're
gall,
right.
the audacity of you.
It was like 5'10". Anyway, neither here nor there. So Will Arnett takes him to a camp where they've just shot somebody. And this is kind of where some of the questions that Cadence and I, and probably you as a listener, this is where some of those questions get answered about Jonah Hex's powers, because he finds a guy that has just been freshly murdered.
Yeah, he's in the, like, they have like a travelable prison cell. It's like on a wagon.
Yeah, it's definitely like medieval. It's medieval travel cell.
A cell to go. That's what it's called.
And he's dead. So why are you keeping him in a cell if he's already dead? It's supposed to keep...
I mean, I guess he maybe died in the cell. I don't know, but that's the whole thing. So he says,
Who will talk to him?
Will Arnett's like,
He's dead, Hex.
you're a moron. That guy's dead. What the heck are you talking about? But then he goes,
Yeah, I'll word with him all the same.
okay, whatever. Think what you're going to think. And then walks over to him, puts his hand on his arm, and all of a sudden the guy becomes awake.
How you doing there? What's happening to me? Afraid you're dead, friend. How can you speak to me? Well, it's kind of a knack I picked up when I near died myself.
He's confused for a quick sec. Like, what the hell is happening to me? What's going on? But Jonah's like, listen, you've got a limited amount of time or your skin's going to start burning.
I keep you out of the ground too long, you're likely to just burn right on up.
I guess that's the logic in the Jonah
Yeah,
Hex
you've got to be
world.
put in the ground or you disintegrate into fire.
My guess is they needed to come up with a reason that like he couldn't just sit and talk with the dead guys for an extended period of time. Because in that case, like
And then
just
they would
bring
just
everyone
all
up from the dead and just have like these really
There's got to
long,
be
intense
some kind of time limit.
So he starts telling the guy like,
I'm looking for Quentin Turnbull. Never knew Turnbull. Who recruited you?
I have real bad news for you, friend. You're dead. So I'm going to need you to tell me the name of the general that betrayed us.
This is the best part. Because this guy is dead. And he's still like,
Dead.
no, I'm not going to do it. And you're like, dude, you're dead. Why do you care? Why you you're taking the secrets to your grave like way too far. Because he like refuses to tell him. And he's dead.
So stubborn about it. And I'm like, why would you give a shit? No one's going to find you and seek revenge.
You're already dead to the whole world. No one's going to be like, that fucking snitch. Like, who cares? You're dead.
What a narc.
Because, like, who's going to believe that you talked to a dead guy? I'd be like, yeah, I'm dead. I don't want to go burning, so I'm going to tell you, put me in the ground.
Even if you did believe he talked to the dead guy, there's nothing you can do about it because he re-dies. And you can't talk to him. So it's not like you can even be like, hey, why'd you narc on us? It's over. It's over. So he says the name.
Slocum. Oil Slocum.
Then Jonah Hex is like,
Them's likely hellhounds. Reckon they smell fresh meat. Waiting for you for when I let you go, no doubt. No. I wouldn't try to pet him if I were you.
if you hear those dogs, those are the hellhounds coming to get you. Bye. And then
see
just
ya.
let's go with the risk, and it's over.
I mean, in that guy's defense, though, come on, you got shot in the face. You're in a cage. You wake up for a second with some guy with a burned face talking to you. You're probably a little bit hazy. I'd be a little bit like,
Yeah,
you know
I mean, maybe you're discombobulated. I can give you that much. Yeah, I can give you that much.
But even then, I wouldn't be like stubborn about it. Like coming out of a groggy haze, like, no. Why do you want to know? No, I'm not going to tell you what anybody is. Like, it's so funny.
He gives him enough information that Jonah Hex can now do whatever he wants. Like, he came with the army because he had to, but now that he has vital information, he's like, fuck you guys. And he runs off and goes AWOL again because he doesn't care about the army finding Turnbull. He just wants to exact his own revenge on
Yeah,
Turnbull.
that revenge is
So,
sweet.
he takes
That's
off.
the sweetest pay he could ever get. He doesn't give a fuck about the army.
Head southeast.
So after he sent this guy burning, like, hellhound, bye, he goes and finds the name that the gentleman that is now dead gave to him. And he goes to this place that we've all been to. It's a dingy bar saloon in the middle of nowhere with a giant floor in the middle where human beings fight against each other.
This is what y'all been waiting for, you degenerate bastards!
It's cockfighting for humans. Human fighting, I guess.
Colin,
It's human fighting.
it's a zombie cockfight.
Okay, yes, we have been
Colin,
talking
you
about this for
forgot.
so long. This makes no sense in this movie whatsoever. I didn't realize when I was watching it that the guy that was fighting in this pit was like a zombie, but they don't ever explain it, and everybody around is just acting like this is no big deal.
Like zombie cockfights in the barn happen all the time.
But Will Arnett cannot, he's so blown away that Jonah Hex can talk to the dead for 0.2 minutes after they die. But then there's just random zombie fights in the middle of the...
Right. Yes, you have a point. He's like, you're a moron for implying that you could talk to a dead guy. However, the entire army being in a barn taking bets on a cockfight of zombies is totally chill.
It
Happens
really,
all
guys,
the
it never
time.
explains it.
Yeah, I thought for sure I missed something. I was like, did I miss something?
You
Did
did.
I? And then I rewound it, and then I asked, and I was like, no, that's just it. They just throw it in there out of nowhere and act like you should absolutely know what's going on.
And you might be
Do
like,
zombies appear before? No.
Nope.
Do they appear after? No.
No.
It's just at the cockfight.
And if zombies were a part of this world that Jonah Hex is in, then what the hell does his power have to do with anything? They're walking dead.
Yes.
It makes
Ask
no
them.
sense. And you might be thinking like, oh, well, maybe they just look like a zombie. Maybe it's just a really beat up soldier. No, you guys, his mouth disconnects. And if you're not still convinced...
And it's like black. There's like black stuff coming out of it.
Yes, black stuff coming out of his mouth. And when it hits the dirt, it like sizzles. So this is clearly some kind of...
And he can run on the wall. He has that advantage in the cockfight.
Why would you even put him in a wall that's open? There's a top to it. None of this
You
makes
need
sense.
a roof if you're going to lock him in a cockfight.
You gotta put a full cage on him because he could just climb up the wall and murder
That is
every
where the
spectator.
traveling cage would come in handy. Just wheel it into the cockfight.
And everyone's so into this cockfight. They're just like, yeah. Because, like in movies, no one's concerned that this zombie is out of control and can climb the walls and will kill all of you. But again, we as the viewers, we don't know what the zombie's powers is. Maybe he's very trained.
Maybe there's a really specific world and rules that like the zombies exist by, and so it's like, well, once you get thrown in the cockpit pit, then you can't escape.
They're like gladiators. They're like, there's only one rule: we don't break the rules. We are zombie fighters. We stay in the ring.
We have honor. We may not have much, or we have honor.
We have honor. Needless to say, Jonah Hex finds the guy that the dead guy told him about, throws him in the cockfight. The zombie just eats him or bites him, or we really don't know, but he's dead. That was the end of that.
He leaves the zombie cockfight barn in the middle of nowhere, and he immediately, coincidentally and conveniently even, comes across a grave. And that grave just happens to be...
Forgot about that. I forgot that he's just taking a stroll after a zombie cockfight, just enjoying the night air, thinking about Megan Fox, and he stumbles upon a grave.
And it's the grave of Jeb Turnbull, who is the son of the General Quentin Turnbull, who he killed. And his dad is now on the run in terrorist group.
He had to have really stumbled upon it spontaneously, because if he had known it was there, he would have just gone there at the beginning, woke him up and been like, yo, is your dad alive?
Straight.
He would have just gone straight there.
source.
Why would he even, Will Arnett, the army, the president planning the centennial, all of that doesn't need to be there. He would have just gone straight to that grave.
And like I said, you don't have any sense of place and time. And so you don't know how far anyone's traveled and how far things away are from each other. And so it's like, oh, so this cockfight barn just happened to be by Jeb's grave. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Just to give a visual, you guys, it does say North Carolina or South Carolina in the beginning. So you know it's somewhere over there. And it's kind of like green and kind of like Nolan style with the big trees.
Except if you're at Megan Fox's brothel.
That's
where
what I
it's in
mean.
the
But then all of a
desert.
sudden it turns into this Wild West like saloon. They tried to do this, what do you call it? What's that thing that I kind of liked when I was in high school? What is it?
Like steampunk kind of thing?
Yeah, they kind of went this like steampunk route. So I don't know what they were quite thinking with space and time and where they are. Because in the beginning, when Jonah Hex rides up with the bodies on the back of his horse, that's clearly a desert saloon. It's like clearly like tumbleweeds and everything. So
Yep.
no one gives a shit what's going on in the West if all this took place in South Carolina.
And it would take you days, I mean, weeks to ride back. So long to ride back. So anyway, he comes across Jeb Turnbull's grave.
Coincidentally.
He digs him up. Jed's been dead long enough. He knows he's dead. He's not surprised by this. He's not like, where am I? He's like, oh, hey, so good to see you.
Oh, you don't know. He probably is a little surprised Jonah Hex dug him up. I mean even if he's been dead, I'd be like, oh, hey, Jones.
Oh, hey. So this is the thing that I have been thinking about and kind of infuriated by ever since I saw it, because he digs Jeb up, right, to like learn valuable information. He has this skill. This dead person can tell him things he doesn't already know. You guys, they have a limited amount of time to talk before they start burning and they got to get covered by dirt. But they don't talk about anything but the past, like things they both experienced and lived through.
I need your help, Jeb.
Kid me, right? This is a joke. You killed me, Jonah.
You drew on me, Jeb.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
Well, obviously.
You disobeyed a direct order.
To burn down a hospital? Your father was going to murder them people just to make a point. I couldn't stand for that. I'm surprised that you could.
He was our commanding officer. He was my father. I didn't have a choice.
Neither did I. Sorry about it. Killing you, I mean.
He digs him up and he's like, hey, remember that time that
You stole
they killed you?
Remember that time that you were going to blow up that hospital? I said no. And then you were like, no, I'm going to do it. It's against the orders if I don't. But then I said, well, this is against the orders, and then I killed you. That's like literally the conversation.
Yes.
Tell me where your dad is. No. Why? No way. It's like, again,
I don't want to.
I don't want to. Oh, yeah. Like,
make me.
are you in hell? Do you want to stay in hell? Can you be resolved by telling me where this thing is so I kill your evil father? Nope. They just talk about what happened in the past in a really boring way.
And so I also thought, I will give this man the benefit of the doubt. Perhaps you just genuinely do not know anything else because you have died and you just are like in that general vicinity and you only come awake and become conscious when someone wakes you up.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking until you brought up this point.
At some point, Jed tells Jonah Hex,
I've been watching you. And I've been watching him. Truth is, it's getting real hard to tell the difference between you two.
And it's meant to be poignant. I'm more confused because if you've been watching both of them, then you have tons of relevant information.
Where the hell are you watching this from? What are you doing? What's it like in hell? Like, yeah,
you know exactly where Turnbull is.
And you know that your dad's about to blow up the world with this secret weapon. You don't have any sense of like, well, I guess I could stop that. Nope.
Right.
You're really prideful and you're not giving up that secret.
You're like, my dad's actually been robbing armories and trains for a while now because he's like gathering a terrorist organization and they're going to blow up a ton of people at the Centennial celebration. If you want to find him, his secret hideout is right here. No, he just tries to teach Jonah a life lesson. Whatever. It's so stupid. So he goes back in the ground and Jonah Hex goes on his way.
Cool movie.
And I feel like Jonah Hex is like, why did I raise you from the dead?
It was
like,
the point.
Why was it? What did I even do? What
could have
was
not
I
even been part of the plot. So he's going right towards that clubhouse. And this is the part that we may have mentioned earlier. Actually, I think we mentioned it later because we're doing this editing. Woo!
The magic of editing.
But my favorite thing is he goes to the clubhouse, enters, and it's just huge. It's like that classic like map with the yarn string, like the crazy guy who's plotting the world and like,
yeah,
you know, like the detective with the yarn string and the question
marks. Right, but
marks.
in 1876.
Yes, but in 1876. And it's full like big letters like secret weapon to blow up the world, question mark. When will we do it? Question mark. Centennial? Maybe.
And then it's like, here's the step-by-step instructions to assemble the weapon. We've gone to each place and procured each step, and now they're hung on the wall in the order of assembly.
Little notes.
Don't forget to
little notes. How to ignite? Question mark. Tuesday, 5 o'clock. Pick up the gunpowder. It's like everything you could possibly need to know for the whole thing.
And they have this
hung up on the walls.
Massive map of like the East Coast. And I'm just like, I don't know, dude. Like coming across something that big in like 1876 and then just like hauling it to your secret warehouse, like to get a map printed with your nefarious plans on it. Like there's not just a FedEx. That's the whole thing.
It's a process to even to get those plans up. It's impressive what they're doing with the secret weapon, but also it's really impressive with their planning skills because
I mean,
no
these
one's
men
skipping
are
a beat.
organized. They are organized.
It turns
And
into
they have a
Battlefield
giant-
Earth. It's all HR. There's like a
They're
whole
like-
HR team that's like, okay, well, we hired this guy, Turnbull.
There's a giant star on the oh my gosh, where is it? It's the like port of Philadelphia where they're planning the thing. And so on the map there's just like this giant star to be like, get it? This is where we're doing it. This is where the Centennial is.
I don't know about you, but anytime I'm committing a heinous act, I always need to make sure I remember. So I circle it. You come into my room, I have a big circled thing. Downtown, blow up here, just in case I forget. Just in case I forget.
Yeah, no kidding. There's a whole very detailed list.
Magnificent, isn't it?
So anyway, Jonah Hex finds this amazing clubhouse, gives them props for their organizational skills, but it's like, I'd rather you not be using them for terrorist attacks. Thank you so much. There ensues a gunfight. The only thing you need to know about this is that Jonah Hex gets shot in the chest with a shotgun and escapes.
Well, first off, who shoots him?
I'm gonna hand Turnbull your balls in the stuff box. Look at you. Beautiful.
Well, it's obviously the crazy Irishman. It's obviously Michael Fassbender.
Again, Jonah Hex is supposed to be this expert gunslinger, slayer, whatever. Like, I guess that's part of, we've talked about it because we weren't really sure like why they chose him. But he got shot real easy with the shotgun. Like,
yeah.
You know, you would think that you'd be able to not get shot.
Based on the very first interaction he has in the entire movie where he can like sense a bullet coming towards him.
Yeah, you'd think you'd be able to
It feels weird
say-
that he doesn't dodge the bullet. But I don't know Jonah Hex's powers. No one does.
But
No
we do
one
know
does.
that he gets shot. And he kind of has enough energy to get away from being shot. Like, he gets shot very injured, very much so. But Michael Fassbender
Yes.
doesn't like carry out the job as in most movies.
Right.
You
So at
always
some point he's got enough agility to hop on his horse and ride away.
You always
I
shoot
guess.
but not kill, just to injure and let them get away. It's always like a movie trope. But he does have enough dexterity to get away. Dexterity is something.
He just kind of flops over the horse and was like, run, run. So after he leaves, this is when John Malkovich says one of my favorite things ever because they're contemplating why Jonah Hex did not die if he was shot directly in the chest. And John Malkovich, as Turnbull, obviously says,
Well, Hex doesn't know how to die. He'll have to be educated.
oh, so stupid.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to die because your crazy Irish guy didn't actually kill him.
Yeah, maybe this is a you problem, Turnbull.
He very much knows how to die if your guy would have shot him multiple times.
Aim for the head, friend.
Looks like he's dead.
Their plan, right? Now that he's made the escape, they're like, how do we lure him back? So Turnbull tells Michael Fassbender,
Find me something he loves and bring it to me.
Well then, I lure him to us.
you need to find something he loves.
Mm-hmm. Very original. Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you get any guesses on what this thing possibly is that they're going to lure him with?
We actually don't know because he does not love Lila. So it's not her. He's kind of annoyed with her, to be honest. So as a
I
viewer,
feel
we're
like
all
the
kind of
wires-
anxious. What
the
is it that
wires
he
got
loves?
crossed. They're like, surely it's that sex worker from the brothel, right? Like, he seems like he likes her a lot. And Jonah Hex is like, actually, I don't care. Like, take her if
No,
you
take her.
want.
You can lure
I'm
me, but
actually
it's not gonna
fine. She asked me to run away with her, and I said no. So I don't love her. But go ahead if that makes you feel better.
That's what you think. So stupid. But the best part about this is because Jonah Hex is a hero that basically, like, let's be real, he actually does die. We're saying that he doesn't. He does die. He just has enough dexterity to get away from his death scene. And of course, he goes to the Wild West, back to his Native American roots. And they're the ones
Right.
that actually save him.
Some say when you're just about to die, you play out your unfinished business. death, vengeance is the one thing you can't let go.
This is where, again, that Native American theme comes into the picture. And they basically like crush up little piles of herbs and like stuff them down into the bullet holes. And then they do some sort of like cleansing smoke ritual in the teepee with him. We said this earlier, but at some point it does tell us that he married a Native woman and had a son who was half Native. So I guess that's why they're so invested in resurrecting him every time. It feels exhausting. It feels like a full-time job to be bringing him back every time.
This guy was not cool before. Like, yes, he made the decision not to blow up the hospital, but he also had killed a lot. He was riding a horse with a machine gun, just murdering all kinds of people. So, like, the Native Americans, he's not like a good guy. Like, they should just be like, okay, it's his time to go.
The bar was real low. Like, good job. You didn't shoot up a hospital. Cool. Like, why are we bringing this guy? He's not doing a bunch of service work every time he comes back.
And he's not like going and checking in with them and being like, hey, I brought you guys gifts. Like, it's so good to see you guys again.
He just uses them for their magic.
Yeah. They brought him back to life the first time, gave him a weird gift, sent him on his way, and he never looked back. He didn't care.
Yeah.
He didn't give a shit.
Yeah. And
They're
I'm
a little bit more invested than
if-
he is.
I know. I'm like, what are you getting out of this, guys? It's like being in a relationship with like a deadbeat. You're just like, what are you even getting out of this? But I'm curious if it's supposed to imply when Lila is counting out all of his bullet holes, it's implying he's like maybe been killed / almost killed multiple times and they've brought him back multiple times. Like nobody can survive that much without the magic. I don't know. But that's Jonah Hex for you. It's more questions than answers.
Jonah Hex is a deadbeat. He doesn't love anybody. And he actually dies twice in this movie and gets brought back to life. So it's really the Native Americans that are hero of this movie. That's the truth.
I stepped in and she stepped out again, learning to dance the Lanigan Fall. 6 long years I spent in Dublin, 6 long years doing nothing at all. 6 long years I spent in Dublin learning to dance.
I'll give you one crazy guess to guess what happens to Megan Fox's Lila character. First off, she's sitting in this big mansion now, like this beautiful mansion, like calligraphy writing a note, right?
And she's murdered the guy who's obsessed with her, and they just blow right past that. And when I say that, I'm just like, yeah, she stabs him, and then all of a sudden in the next scene, she's somewhere else, and you don't know how that happened.
Maybe it's his house. Maybe it's his house. And
she took over his house.
Yeah, she took over. She's a badass, dude. She does not care. I bet you
I
that's
could
what
get
it
behind.
is. But again, knowing this movie, that would be it, and they just blew over it. Regardless, she kills this guy that wants to marry her. It really shows that she's dedicated to Jonah Hex. I think that's their like thought process. Like she's willing to kill other men. So I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, and sit down and write a calligraphy note to him. Then duh.
Oh, if you're writing a calligraphy note, you know, ladies of the night, that was a
You know they know how to write, and they're very literate, and they have
with
beautiful
the big,
handwriting.
yes, it's so gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
So as she's writing this beautiful calligraphy note to Jonah Hex saying she's not a woman of the night, she's actually just a murderer. She's actually just insane.
She actually just killed somebody.
Another insane person pops up. It's Michael Fassbender's bizarre Irish character.
Have you lost your flock?
It's so random. And again, you don't know how far he traveled to get here. You don't know how he knows where he is because she's not in her normal brothel. She's somewhere totally different.
Nope.
The reason why he's there is because Turnbull has said at this point he knows Jonah Hex is after them.
Take something he loves.
Yeah, take something he loves. So I'm like, Megan Fox is not that thing.
He doesn't love her. He's never said it. He doesn't care. Like, he's never mentioned it. How do you know who Megan Fox is?
And how Turnbull would know any of this because they're so physically far apart. Jonah's at a brothel in the desert. Turnbull's way over, like, in the rivers of the East Coast. And how did he find out the information that he would sometimes see this girl at a brothel enough that he would care?
If you were Turnbull and you're, like, crazy, make Turnbull do something more maniacal. Be like, I'm going to unbury his family and make them into zombies, and they'll fight in eternal cockfight zombie fights for the rest of their life. That would be something that would be a motivational factor for Jonah Hex. But no, you're going to go for the dumbest, take something he loves. And he doesn't even love her at all. He doesn't give a shit about her.
He's like, okay, you can have her.
Okay, you got her,
Fine.
so bye. Don't care.
So
Regardless.
stupid. So stupid. So yeah, Michael Fassbender kidnaps Megan Fox and takes her to the secret hideout where they have been assembling this weapon. Now, it's kind of complicated, but the easiest way to explain this is that during the Civil War, Eli Whitney invented this like massive weapon to cause a ton of destruction, and he drew up all the blueprints for it. They created each and every separate part for that weapon, but they all decided that it was so destructive and so bleak and would like do so much damage to mankind that they never used it in the Civil War, but they have all the separate components in different armories around the East Coast, which is why they went to the train and they broke into an armory and they went to Virginia, and they've slowly been stealing each of these parts so they can make the weapon.
If you really feel that way, that's going to be too bad for humanity. Just disassemble all the parts, throw them away, throw them into a landfill, or reuse them to build a train. I hate it when people are like, this is so destructive. Let's just put it on the back burner for now. This could destroy mankind, but instead of destroying it, let's just put it on the back burner. Put it in your garage.
Let's just put it in a closet.
I'm
Probably
sure
people
no
won't find
one
it.
will find it. Like, just take it apart and then destroy the blueprints. Like, that's
yeah, I
how
was
you
going to
stop
say,
it.
even just burning the blueprints would probably be super duper helpful, because all the blueprints as they're hanging in Turnbull's clubhouse are so informative, step by step. How do you put together the most destructive weapon the world's ever seen up to this point?
One good person to just burn the blueprints to solve this whole problem. But nope, you got to keep that thing that's going to cause destruction. I don't want to build it yet, but...
You never know when mankind might maybe be destroyed. It might come up. So that's basically how the rest of this movie plays out. She's been kidnapped. Jonah Fox.
Oh, yeah, you want them to be together. You want them as a couple now.
That's their celebrity name. Jonah Hex finds out that she's been kidnapped, and of course he goes to rescue her. Who knows why?
But he's got kind of a dual, right? Now I think he's got like a dual reason to kill Turnbull.
That's probably
it's
true.
personal because he
might be
stole
more
something.
motivated by the country not being blown up than her. She just happens to be there.
No, she's a side plot in it at this point. He kind of doesn't want the country to be blown up. So, you know.
Yeah, you're right. There's probably a bigger thing at play here. So they have assembled this weapon actually on a boat, and they are driving it into Philadelphia Harbor, which is a famous American site, obviously. And that is where one of the biggest celebrations for the centennial is going to be happening, so they can do the most damage at this place. So they're like sailing the boat right into the harbor.
The president's going to be pissed that they're ruining his perfectly executed and planned centennial.
I am having this catered. I have been planning this.
I just got all the flowers for the centennial.
It turns out Megan Fox is on this ship that they are sailing into the harbor in order to detonate this bomb. Jonah Hex finds his way onto the boat. He frees Megan Fox. What do you know? Megan Fox is an expert gunslinger, so that is super convenient.
Got excellent penmanship, gunfighting skills, sexual skills. Not so good at talking, though. Not the best talking skills. Bless her heart.
Not the best talking skills. You can only have so much.
You can only have so many skills.
She has corset skills.
Corset skills. Oh, man, her baby waist. It's so
She has forearm warmer skills. Do you know how she has those sweet forearm warmers? So, style skills, murder skills, because she stabs the other guy.
Yeah, she's kind of crazy.
So, yeah, he busts her out, and he's like, "Are you a good shot?" And she's like, "Am I a good shot? Watch this." And the two of them take over the entire terrorist gang on the boat. Every single last terrorist on the boat, obviously. And they get the weapon to detonate on itself, essentially, to blow up the boat and everyone in it.
But then Jonah Hex is like, you know what? Let's not get rid of this bomb just quite yet. Let's put it, how about we don't blow this up? And how about we just put it somewhere for just, just in case.
How about we just steer this ship?
I'm not saying we use it. I'm not saying we don't use it. I'm just saying, like, maybe, we just disassemble it and put it into secret places for later. Like, it's just
Turnbull may theoretically die in hotel fire again, and what are we going to do at that point? We're going to want to have the most powerful weapon known to mankind up until this point, right? How are you at assembling weapons?
She's like,
watch this. Yeah, so they blow up the ship, and he and Megan Fox jump off at the last second. Everyone in the terrorist group is destroyed.
The mega weapon is just a bomb, you guys. It's just a bomb that blows up a boat.
Yeah, but it's very
And even the boat that it blows up
strange.
is not even that big. So it's essentially just a big bomb. And yes, it would have caused a lot of damage for that time period.
Yeah.
But mass destruction blow up the world, meh. It would have really ruined that centennial, I'll tell you that.
And when they get them and steal them, like piece by piece, they are these like glowing orange orbs. And so I
they're
kind of
very
feel like
future. That's what I mean. It was like steampunky.
Yeah.
Like he tried to do this but it's so discombobulated that there's only a couple scenes. Because I thought the same thing. I was like, these are futuristic Final Fantasy VII materia looking balls. And that's why I'm thinking like this is a world-ending weapon. Like that's in my head, but
it
it's
does
literally
look
just
sort of
like
nuclear when it's like, I agree. Because when they start test bombing at some point, and it's killing like 300 people at a time, which is terrible. I'm not saying that's not a lot of people, but I thought it was a nuclear bomb.
Happy 4th of July.
All right, so the ending of this stupid movie, it just doesn't get any better. So they've blown up the boat. They swam in their full leather outfits to shore. How'd they know how to swim, man? If you grew up in the Wild West, I keep forgetting it's not really the Wild West. It's Georgia, South Carolina. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Right, but how often are they getting away to the beach? You don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
you know those
never.
guys. People in the 1800s hated swimming. No one liked swimming. No one knew how to swim. It's a fact.
Maybe part of Jonah Hex's powers is that he also can swim.
Yeah, Native Americans gave him that power too. They slipped one in there too.
I'll just throw this one in on the side. If you ever fall into a big body of water, you'll be able to swim your way out. Extra spell on the side.
Secretly, it's a whole subplot. When they were patching his bullet holes, Lady Trickle Blue Feather popped in, and she's like, "I'm going to give him a little secret extra power."
You want to know how to swim, huh?
No one
You
likes
might
to
just
swim.
find yourself
You know what?
surprised next time you're in a body of water.
I want to make this happen. I want to make swimming happen. Show the elders what's really up. Oh, that'd be the best. It's a whole subplot. Anyway, he swims back to shore with Megan Fox, and the next day they meet with.
Well, no women allowed. She has to wait outside in her little corset in the rain, but he meets with the president, and the president offers him a really cool job. Do you remember what that job is, Colin?
I don't. Well, does he give him a specific title?
Your reward and full pardon. And I'd also like you to consider this. America needs a sheriff.
Yeah, he tries to make him the sheriff of America.
Oh my God. I'm pretty sure in the 1800s, mid-1800s, America was still way too big to have one sheriff. And his resume consists of dying twice. So, he didn't really accomplish it. It's all down to the Native Americans. They are the heroes of this story. But whatever, Sheriff of America.
He grabs the badge and he's like, I feel like maybe this isn't a real job, but
and the president is like, I spent a lot of time getting this badge made. On top of planning a centennial.
He's like, I was going to have a whole ceremony for you when you got inducted as Sheriff of America. I've already bought all the flowers.
When Jonah Hex says no, the president looks down and kind of waves his hand. And in the background, you see all these people with flowers and balloons like
they're about to bring it all.
Yeah. No. Shh. No.
No. He doesn't want it. He doesn't want it.
He doesn't want it. He's not going to be Sheriff of America.
The
banner falls down, but roll it back up.
Put the banner right. Cut the music. There's a marching band walking in. Cut the music.
The president's so sad that he planned this whole jubilee to be sheriff.
The president loves a good jubilee, and he will look for any excuse. So I think the whole Sheriff of America thing was just that. But he says, listen, if and when you ever want to come back to serve us in any way, you're welcome to do that. You're no longer in trouble for going AWOL from the army. Do your thing. No one's going to come after you. But he emphasizes, how much of a hero Jonah Hex is, which I still don't, like you're saying, I still don't quite understand it, but whatever. Because he was just bounty hunting before that. So
also, you think Jonah Hex would be like, this is a good opportunity to bring up, Mr. President, that there are zombie cockfights?
Hey, did you hear about those zombie cockfights that are happening?
You might want to pass some laws about that, because, people are cockfighting with zombies.
I don't know. It seems like a problem, but
Anybody
it's
tell you
up
that?
to
Okay,
you.
no, just fine. Sheriff of America. Got it. Keep going.
Yeah, are you aware that there are undead people? I mean, is that even on your peripheral? Have you been just too focused on this party to know that those zombies are around? Just give me a kind of a sense of where you're at. Because it's so bizarre that some people know and some people don't.
I also
So
want to
anyway,
see a side story of what the president's like a day in the life of the president.
just a day-to-day.
Just planning parties nonstop, jubilees, and not having any clue what's going on in the world. Secret
They're like,
weapons getting
Turnbull
stolen.
just bombed another town, and he's like, I am sorry. I am swamped trying to figure out the colors for this celebration. I am sorry. Can you tell me more about that later?
It's true. He has no idea how to run America. That's why he just pawns it off to Sheriff of America. You do this.
He's like, yeah, you can be the sheriff. You can make all those choices. Don't worry about. And Will Arnett just sort of fades into the background too,
Yeah,
right?
he does.
Like nothing really
really
happens
does.
with him.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Jonah Hex leaves the president's office, and Megan Fox is waiting outside, and she's like,
He offer you a job?
Yep.
You take it?
Oh, I'm not big on having a boss.
what do you think? No. And then they walk away. The last parting moment is he comes across a cemetery, and Jeb Turnbull's grave is there. And I can't help but wonder, have we come full circle? Was this the grave that Jeb was originally buried in, that he saw after the cockfight? Because that seemed like it was in a totally different place. So
Yeah, it doesn't
space
really
and
make
time
sense.
still
Yeah,
makes no
doesn't make
sense.
sense.
Anyway, he doesn't bring him back. He just sort of stops at his grave and just like, thanks, old friend. Thanks for the memories. And then they leave. And that's it.
I know we said it before, but like this, let's just be real. We're real with our audience. We give credit where credit's due, and we give non-credit where non-credit's due. Anyway, this movie sucked, so hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Bye.
They say a man with vengeance in his heart is supposed to dig two graves. One for his enemy and one for himself. Well, I guess mine will just have to wait.
Did you hear that? Turnbull's dead? And someone else is like,
What you say? Turnbull's dead? Jonah Hex is like,
Let's just recap where we are. We're going to do like a little summary so we're all on the same page, or as I like to say, singing from the same hymn sheet. I've never said that. I've never said that.